Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. We're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. Now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. The time has finally come where the truth has finally come to light. And honestly, this is information some of us been knew, but for the people that just needs to see social media posts by certain outlets for validation, well, it don't get any more clearer than this. This right here is all the clarification that you need after months of manipulation, months of indirect answers, months of just brushing off the inevitable. Now you get to see it for yourself front and center on the Chicago Sun-Times News. Now, popular Chicago YouTuber by the name of Trenches News is not just a witness within the FBG duck case against the oblock members, he is a star witness. Now, for y'all that don't know and you are unaware of what a star witness is, and you don't know that there is a difference between a regular witness and a star witness, let's go by the Google definition of what a star witness actually is. Now it says, quote, "In legal proceedings, a star witness is a witness who provides major and crucial information in a criminal case. In some instances, a case may have several star witnesses, and their testimonies may clinch a conviction or acquittal, especially when handled by a skilled lawyer. The testimony of star witnesses is often a topic of interest for the general public as well, especially in high-profile cases. And in open courtrooms, there may be a number of bystanders present to listen to the testimony of a star witness." Now, if that's not enough, another Google definition of what a star witness is will simply tell us, quote, "the principal or most important witness in a trial." Now, the reason why I need to make it very clear to you guys what a star witness is because that's the person who offered information that is very detrimental to the defendants within the trial. Meaning that whatever he or she says holds enough weight to be used to actually convict and put these guys away for a very long time. Now let's rewind. Remember, after people became suspicious of Trenches and reports started coming out that he may be one of the cooperators in the case, he would begin to say things such as, "They don't got nothing on me. I didn't say anything. They only questioned me because of a text message with Kenny Mack." Pretty much trying to divert and deflect. But the article clearly states it's way more than that. The man was paid to cooperate and give up information on the oblock members. So when he would make videos about them saying things like, "Oh, they the sloppy five, they the sloppy this and that," all that was a diversion to try and cover up the fact that he's cooperating in the case and he knows certain information that other people don't know. So when he was saying it was sloppy, yes, they were very sloppy, but he's speaking from a whole different angle than we are. We're all on the outside looking in, while this man is a whole cooperator speaking from that point of view because he has information and know things that we don't. So being labeled as a star witness tells us that it's way more than just being brought in for questioning concerning the case. However, he was able to manipulate his way by making funny videos in the courtroom and trying to spin the narrative. This time, it's no getting away from this one. Now, an article posted boldly in the Chicago Sun-Times will have Trenches News picture with the mask on in the courtroom with the headline saying, quote, "Star witness in FBG Doug murder trial is a masked rap blogger and long-time government informant." Now pay attention to the details, y'all. It says that he wasn't just an informant for this case or his text messages with Kenny Mack like he tried to fool everyone to believe, but he been working with the government as he is a long-time government informant. And before we continue, let that sink in. because I always tell y'all that there are certain individuals in the media world where they're rappers, athletes, actors, media personnel, bloggers, whoever, but they are put in place purposely for situations like this by the government. So a lot of people like to say, oh, you a conspiracy theorist, oh yeah, but guess what? These things do exist. You could know somebody for years and think they're your friend, but the whole time they was put in your circle to invade and infiltrate for the government. It's not a secret, and this isn't new. If y'all remember, Donnie Brasco, he was the FBI agent whose real name was Joseph Pistone, and he was sent by the government to infiltrate the mob and take down some of the biggest mafia members in the Bonanno crime family. He worked as an undercover for 6 years and rose up in the ranks looking like one of them, talking like one of them, acting like one of them, the whole 9 yards. The whole time, he was sent by the government to infiltrate the crime family, which resulted in mob bosses getting decades in prison. This is exactly what we're seeing here with Trench's news. Think about it. When I tried to tell y'all 2 years ago when he got the video taken down that we did on him, I told y'all to watch him because he speaks way too loosely about unsolved crimes on the internet. And every now and then, he gets somebody who don't know no better, like an FBG butter, to go back and forth with him and incriminate themselves, agreeing to the stuff he's saying, and then boom, you now just admitted to a crime or confess that you know details about one. And the funny part about this is that Trench's never thought it'll get out because he never thought he'll probably have to testify, right? Here's a perfect example. In the YSL case, some thought just because we didn't see Gunna testify, that meant that he didn't tell on Thug and the YSL organization. But part of the plea deal he took had terms stating that he would testify if needed. But the thing is, they never said that he had to testify as part of the agreement, but he would only testify if needed. And so far he hasn't been needed, that's why we ain't see him testify. However, if you remember the paperwork, it said that Cooperator 1 within the FBG Duck case wouldn't testify unless he needed to. Maybe he thought he was going to get off the hook. However, they actually needed him, and now Trench's is a star witness. And that whole mask on in the courtroom stuff kind of reminded me of the big drug kingpin from New York named Nicky Barnes that told on his whole team because they started having relationships with his wife while he was incarcerated, which is kind of crazy, but that's a whole nother story. But let's get back to the information within this article. A clip from the Sun-Times article would say, quote, a blogger focused on the lurid underbelly of Chicago's drill rap culture has been paid nearly $25,000 to cooperate with federal authorities investigating the killing of rapper FBG Duck, FBI agent told jurors Monday. Martell Wiley, whose Trench's News YouTube channel has 114,000 subscribers, is expected to testify this week at the trial of 6 men charged in a brazen attack in the Gold Coast on August 4th, 2020. There has been widespread speculation in the rap blogosphere that Wiley had violated the no snitch street code and was identified in court records as Cooperator 1, whose prosecutors say provided information about the oblock faction of the Black Disciples that's at the center of the murder and racketeering case. Now, we've learned that he was paid a measly $25,000 to snitch on these guys. And they said nearly. So that means it was under $25K, which is kind of crazy because he does YouTube and have over 100,000 subscribers. So if he put the proper work in, $25,000 wouldn't even be enough to go out bad the way he did. But he did. Now, if y'all remember when the documents first came out concerning the cooperators, and when Cooperator 1 was described and they said his initials were MW, I told y'all that it was Trench's News and most of y'all thought that I was just reaching. However, I knew it was him because he would be the same one that sent us a false copyright strike on YouTube before because we exposed him for something else and he tried getting the video taken down that way. But what he didn't know was that whenever you send someone a copyright strike on YouTube, you have to enter your real name and the recipient gets to see all that as well as your address and email. So I instantly knew it was him, but let's continue on what the article says because it gets even better. Part of the article would say, quote, during the interview, days before the trial began last month, Wiley dispelled what he described as rumors while sidestepping a question about whether he had been paid to cooperate with law enforcement. Within days, he changed his tune in a bizarre video posted to his own YouTube channel, wearing his signature face mask in an empty courtroom that he said was inside the Dirkskin Federal Courthouse. Wiley admitted he was testifying in what he described as the trial of the century. They subpoenaed me to court. I've got to come here, man, and tell them, man, it ain't no more discrepancies. I'm here. Long live Carlton, he said in the video, referring to Duck, whose real name was Carlton Weekly. FBI Special Agent Kevin Doyle testified Monday that Wiley called the Chicago Police Department a day after the shooting and offered to help with the investigation. Doyle said Wiley was paid $24,963 over roughly 15 installments for his FBI cooperation, which began in April 2021. Now, for one, they don't just subpoena anybody. He made it seem like he was just picked randomly to come to court and speak out about the situation, but that's not the case, especially with the feds. You have to be a person of great interest where they believe you know something based on the case to be subpoenaed. But forget all that. The article stated that the subpoena wouldn't even matter because Martell Wiley, aka Trench's News, took it upon himself to call the Chicago Police Department a day after Duck passed away and offered, right? I must emphasize, offered to help with the investigation. Sheesh. He was then rewarded money for his cooperation, which totaled to just under $25,000. And when we did the math on everything, that came up to just $1,600 plus a month for 15 months up until July of last year, being that they said it started in April of 2021. That's insane. All that for a measly $1,600 plus, which comes out to like $1,660 something a month. You know, he claimed he know these guys. I'm pretty sure he could have just hit one of them up. They would have just paid him 16 something a month to not tell. Now, if you thought that was something, it gets even better, y'all. Let's move on to what the next part of the Chicago Sun-Times article will reveal, as it will say, quote, he will provide background information. He reviewed surveillance footage and reviewed social media postings, Doyle said, noting that Wiley was dropped as an informant for a time when he grew unresponsive. Prior to Doyle's testimony, one of the roughly dozen defense attorneys in the case noted that Wiley had been used twice as an informant more than a decade ago, calling for more information and details about payments. So it's like he was begging. You know, he was begging in a sense. They're saying that Trenches will often be unresponsive to them when it was time for them to communicate, which could mean one of two things. He either was contemplating on what he was doing and wondering if he should pursue, or that was just his way of trying to bribe the police for more provolone dollars in order for him to give more of what they needed, which was information. Provolone dollars, that's what we call it. Money for telling or cooperating, those are provolone dollars. Now, the article states that Trenches was already used 2 separate times prior to this case to tell on people for money. So basically, this man was telling and cooperating for money. It's not just a today's thing. It's not just a Kenny Mack situation where he was subpoenaed and he was just questioned about the text messages. No, they said this happened decades ago. You know, come on, this is crazy. Now, for the simple fact that this man has a whole following of 100,000 people who really look to him for information, which we found out apparently that's right up his alley anyway, but he has misled a vast group of people, appearing to be this gangster and tough guy. Whole time he's been telling for money for decades. It's bad out here, man. And this is why I always say, you know, stay out the streets. For the youngins that's coming up, you know, you want to drill, you want to spin blocks, you want to do X, Y, and Z. It's not the same anymore. Everybody's telling, everybody's clearly telling for money. You know, it's just not the same. There's surveillance everywhere. It makes no sense. I know your favorite drill rapper love to glorify the lifestyle. I know they love to show all the glamorous parts of it, but they don't show you the jail time. They don't show you the part where you probably not going to have no commissary because nobody's there to help you. You know, they don't show you that the girl that you loved or thought you loved, she's not there for you no more. They don't show you your friends that you thought were your friends not there, or one of those friends telling on you. They don't show you that part of it, right? So there's a lot of legal money out there these days, and I would rather that than to be in the streets, because clearly it's nasty out here. You got guys cooperating for money for decades. Just imagine how much he's seen. Just imagine how much people trusted him and thought he was one of the guys. The whole time he's telling for money. A little bit of money at that. Now finally, the article will be ended by a small clip that will go on to say, quote, "As the trial has played out, Wiley has posted multiple updates about the case and some of the people involved. Meanwhile, his testimony has remained a hot button issue. On October 10th, the first day of jury selection, defense attorneys moved to block Wiley from testifying after he made a YouTube video that contradicted his grand jury testimony, according to the Chicago Tribune. Wiley testified that he recognized most of the defendants from surveillance footage, but then claimed publicly that he couldn't identify the gunman. Now, Wiley couldn't be reached for comment. So pretty much it seemed like Trenches offered information, and at the last minute he tried to recant his statements and back out. But once it's done, it's done. You know, maybe he tried to back out once he realized that he had to take the stand. Maybe he didn't expect to have to take the stand or testify in front of everybody, but this man, according to reports, had been cooperating for years. You know, decades even. You know, it's crazy. And if y'all remember, Truth Teller told us that Trenches used to tell him things that's going to happen in the hood before it happened to get him to blog about it at a time. So he just got a potty mouth. You know, that's pretty much it, man. But y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this. This was a long video because I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. You know, and it's unfortunate, man, because when people are in the streets, you would think people would have, you know, live up to that code. I know a lot of people say, oh, there ain't no code in the streets. And this is why, if you think about diving in the streets and being in the streets, don't. Because it's too, you know, one-sided. One minute people live by the street code and some people say, no, there's no street code. And clearly we can see that there's no code these days. So anyway, y'all jump in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. I'm out.